Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another episode by the Happy Woodworker. So, we're continuing our chess set today, starting off with another 4-inch blank. And today we're going to talk about unconventional knights. If you're like me, I can do just about anything with woodworking except wood carving. I do not do wood carving well. So I've got a little example here. This is just a very rough start to carving out a knight, but I'm not going to be using this design. I decided that I wanted to do something that wasn't going to take me 6 months or a month to produce each piece, and wood carving for me anyway is exceptionally slow. So we're going to talk about a more classic or traditional design, or a more historic design, if you will. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the old chess sets, old English chess sets that you might have seen 100 years ago. But if you Google maybe an old Regency chess set, you might see something that looks like this. And the design was completely different back then from what we consider to be a knight today. So I'm doing a different, this is my prototype for what I'm going to use for a knight, just because I did not want to take an extreme amount of time to hand carve each knight. So this is what we're going to be doing today. This is my prototype. I did another video yesterday, just random designs. This is what I came up with, and so this is what we're going to try and duplicate today. So without further ado, here we go. We're going to start off. I've got a baseline here. I'm going to start by cutting my base. I've already got a measurement on my calipers. Let's see where we're at. I made these knights a little more narrow. Than some of my other pieces. I wanted them to stand out. My knights and my bishops are going to be a little more narrow and a little more elegant. And that was all intentional. There we go. We're there. Next up, I've got to knock some of this down, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and start that. I had the parting tool in my hand, so that's what I used. You could just as easily come in with a skew chisel. Get a nice flat edge like that. That works for me. And I'm actually going to take this down eventually to the same circumference as my base. But next up, we're going to get a couple more measurements going here. I'm going to pull a pencil. I'm going to set this where I think it should be, and I'm going to make a mark to mark this edge here. Okay. Each one of my pieces comes out kind of unique. Next, I'm going to get a circumference on this area right here, which is going to be this little piece, and I'm going to knock and cut that out. So let's get that done real quick. Get a measurement on that. Okay, so what I've done, I'm going to knock one solid piece here, and then we'll cut this groove into it later. So this edge right here is what I'm getting my measurement on, right there. Let's double check our lines. So goes the old saying, measure twice, cut once. I think we're good. Back to the parting tool. See where that puts us. A little bit more. Now I'll start going a little slower. A more refined cut. Right there. Okay. Next up, I'm going to mark this edge right here. I'll explain why in a few minutes. Hog this down. Sorry about that. Continuing on, we've got some fresh batteries in the camera, and I was explaining that we're going to start hogging this out right here to the circumference of this ball. Not really a ball, but I think you understand what I mean, so I'm going to get a measurement on this. There we go. And that is the next step, is to start taking that down, and I am again going to use the parting tool for that. There we go. And I'm stopping just a little bit above where that actually is supposed to be. And I'm going to knock it down some more. Alright, we've got to start doing some basic cuts. I'm going to put a line in here to make sure I don't lose track of where I'm supposed to be. And let's go ahead and bring this down to circumference. Just enough to remark my line so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Honestly, I've done enough of these But I really don't even have to mark these, I just know where I want things to be. After you cut about 2 dozen, you get pretty good about determining what you want where. Too much. Very, very light touch as I do this. Barely touching that tool to round that edge. Alright, now we got to start working this. Same exact thing here. Or same method. I'm going to switch over to a small skew chisel that I can get into here real easily. And I think I need a little bit more. Stop and have a look. Ah, I've got a knot in that. I knew something felt funky. Go figure. This may end up being just a demonstration piece. That's okay. Alright, I'm going to take this down a little bit, give myself some room. Just double check myself again. Yep, okay. Just making sure. And I'm going to pull out the spindle gouge, start cutting into this. Let's see, a small one. Okay, this needs to come down in some more. Too thick. Go back to our spindle. Sometimes you have to make adjustments. I'm actually going to take that up even a little higher. I don't quite have that where I want it. Get the ball shape where I want that. I'm not quite happy with the bottom of this yet. Let's do another trim like this. Very steep angle. Very steeper angle. How's that? You're going to use a big tool? Careful what you're going to hit. That's probably about right. If anything, I've probably got that a little under circumference now. Well, that's just about perfect. Well, there. Let's even this up, make it pretty. Then we're going to come in with the parting tool and bring this down. Give that a little edge right on the top. So there we go. I double check my height and everything here. Now I'm right on the money where I want to be. Like I said, you can always take off more. It's better to take off too little to start. I'm adjusting all my measurements from the bottom line here. Like that moved. Let's try that. That's better. And then there. And this little top piece right here is not going to be part of the finished product. This is just something, gave myself room to cut it off. Sand it down smooth, make it pretty. Well, I guess I'll have to get creative and I'll have to fill this. If you get something like this, you can fill. My trick is to use sawdust and a mix of glue and water. It will not look exactly like the green. You will still be able to tell something is there. So I will make this particular piece one of my stain sets so that it's all dark and it'll blend in. That's if I continue to use it, because I've also got this right here. So we'll determine that by the time we finish. This may end up being just a demonstration piece. Again, I've made all of these. I went out to the box store, got a whole bunch of 2x2s, just construction grade 2x2s. You do get a lot of stuff that's got some knots and things in it. You know, there are some, I cut a whole bunch of 4-inch blanks. There's a bunch that I'll never use because of the knots and things that are in them, but you get a lot of really good wood at less than $2 for 8 feet of board. It works really well. Granted, this is a soft wood, it's not a heavy wood, so A lot of you would probably prefer to use oak or something else, a hardwood to do a chess set out of. There's no reason why you can't, but there's no reason why you can't use a softwood like this too. So here we go. We're going to get a measurement on here at our widest point, which is going to be up by the top. As soon as I figure out what way I'm going with my caliper. Right there. So we'll cut this down, not including this or this. And I'm probably going to go back to a parting tool for this again, just because I like the edge it gives me. It's quick and easy to get through this. You'll see I've left my line on here. I can always come back and cut more out. You can also use this design for a little castle if you wanted to. You can see it right there. This is a design of my own making. You're welcome to copy it if you so need to or want to. There we go. Let's knock the rest down. Aggressive at first, then I'll go slow, leaving about 30 seconds there. Minimizes tear out, gives you a nice clean surface. That's coming out anyway. Alright, we're going to switch over, start cutting in. And we can start doing some basic shaping. We're looking for a chalice design here, or an acorn shape. You'll see it before we're done. So that's going to be the real trick, is just matching the shape. I can tell you I've got to do a lot more cut. Much bigger cut in. Let's try that. That's starting to look more like a chalice, isn't it? don't quite have the angle right though. Let's go some more. I'm alternating between my point cutting down in and using this as a flat edge scraper. Just going back and forth with light pressure. See how we're looking there? I think we're almost there. I am going to pause there for a minute. Knock some more of this other stuff out of the way, get it down to where it belongs. I'm going to get a measurement on this. There we go. Okay, we're going to go to a parting tool and we're going to take this off very slowly. With this particular type of wood, with a soft wood like this, it will just tear to pieces if you come into it fast. Very light pressure on this one. I think I'm there. I just need a little bit more. Okay. Next up, we're going to get a measurement up here, because I have this little bump out on the top, which I will probably eventually round over. But I didn't want to use the tools on that. If I round it, I'll shape it with a file as I'm sanding it. You could probably do it with a tool if you wanted to. No reason why you couldn't. So that's got to come down. So that's the next step. And we're going to check height again. That is exactly where it's supposed to be. That edge. There we go. We're right there. And I'm going to put a cut into this and get rid of this. I'll pause there because I want a measurement on that too. That is going to have a little tiny step on the inside of that. So, let's get a measurement on this little inside step right there. Let's go to that. That'll work. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. Just taking off sawdust now, just to get the perfect shape that I want. Nice smooth surface. Well, I want to try one of the more simplistic pieces that we've done. For all intents and purposes, that piece is pretty much done. We're going to put a little detail into it here. We're going to come right in the middle of this. I've got a little tiny miniature detail spindle. basically I'm just doing the width of my tool. Get the width of your tool, that's what you're looking for. Alright, it needs some sanding. I've got to fill that at some point. I will do that. I think this is a usable piece. It's not pristine, it's not perfect, but that's the point, something that's homemade. You know, you're going to have small little variances here and there. I am going to cut one more chunk out of this, just like I did. Hey, watch me throw stuff at you. Just like I did in this one, give myself some room to cut things out. But there you have it. That is going to be the design for my knights. And if you're thinking this looks kind of similar to maybe a queen or a king, it won't by the time I'm done, once I cut this big section off here. And my king and queens are going to stand much taller. They're going to be pushing a full 4 inches. I'll have to cut those out of 5-inch blanks. So, hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, this is a more traditional design here. This is something that you would probably see out of an English set. I know I'm an oddball. I've been cutting Middle Eastern pawns, and now I've got a English-style knight. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day. Thanks for watching another episode by The Happy Woodworker.